You will recall that recently there has been crisis in the Edo State House of Assembly, and that crisis stemmed from the fact that the proclamation notice of the governor was said to have been done without adequate notice to majority of the members. And there has been argument and counter-argument as to the propriety of that proclamation, the inauguration of the house, whether the members that actually sat on that day were qualified enough to elect a speaker in accordance with the constitution. So the intervention of the Federal House of Reps, came by way of resolution. There was a motion by a member from that Edo State House of Assembly, from Edo State, who is a member of the Federal House of Reps, who brought a matter of national importance before the attention of members. They set up a 13 ad hoc committee persons to go and look into the matter and make a recommendation to the House, which is actually what happened yesterday, because they came up with their recommendation. And their recommendation was to the fact that they should seal up the complex and do not allow any of the factions access to the house, and that the governor should proclaim, a proclamation, make a proclamation afresh, in order for the house to be properly inaugurated. That, among other, resolution that was reached yesterday. My take is that we really appreciate the position of the House in trying to resolve the issue, but you must resolve the issue in accordance with the Constitution. The Constitution gives only the National Assembly the power to take over any State House of Assembly that is unable to enact a law for the good governance of the state. And before a State House of Assembly can be said to be unable as a result of crisis, they may not be able to hold their meetings and transact proper business. As long as the House can still hold their normal business with requisite quorum, that House cannot be said to be unable to transact business for which the National Assembly will come in. Now, we want to examine what has happened so far in Edo. Can it be said that Edo State House of Assembly has been unable to transact business? From what we know so far, that they have 9 members, even though people are saying that it is not proper for 9 members to actually sit and make law for Edo State House of Assembly. I think it is something that requires political solution. I don't know why the governor, according to them, issued a notice without bringing all the members to the knowledge of the notice for the inauguration of the house. That is something that all of us should find out. Why would you transmit, according to you, the proclamation notice, and only few members were aware, and they now went ahead now to inaugurate the house without the other members of the house? So to me, this is something that they should find out why he did it, and if he did it out of pure wrong motive, then that can be corrected, and that can only be done by National Assembly now coming in as National Assembly. We are not deprecating what the Federal House has done in the sense that they intervene. We are deprecating the measures they have taken so far. They have no right to take those measures in a manner that seems as if they are now carrying out the responsibility of National Assembly. It has to be both the Senate and the Federal House of Reps in concurrence. They must do it as a resolution by both houses, both chambers. But where it is seen now that only one house is going ahead to issue orders and saying that you should seal, whereas the Constitution never gave them any power to seal. What the Constitution says, you take over. Now, where do you derive that power to seal the House? And where do you derive the power that only one chamber of the National Assembly is the one now issuing this order of sealing the House by the Inspector General of Police? What we're saying is that this thing must be done in such a manner to comply with the Constitution. So the measure that has been taken so far by the Federal House, to me, does not look proper, does not look valid. It clearly at variance with the express provisions of the House. And I think the Senate themselves should speak up. The House should not be in a position to take a decision on behalf of the National Assembly. National Assembly means both Federal House of Representatives and the Senate. So the measures they've taken so far, to me, is clearly they should seek quality legal advice in order to do the right thing. I think the House should come together and see what they can do to resolve the imbroglio, the political logjam that is presently playing out. Because if you allow the position of the Federal House of Representatives to stand, it will create it exacerbates the problem instead of mitigating it. I think that should be a concurrence of both houses in order to look for a political solution concerning this matter, rather than taking it the way it is. Or they can go to judiciary for proper interpretation of what has taken place so far, whether the proclamation itself was proper, whether the people that sat in order to elect a speaker was in accordance with the constitution and other issues. The judiciary can resolve that. But if they cannot go through the judiciary, another option is political solution. And I think every of them faction should give up their interest in order to allow the superiority of the state interest to supersede, so that there will be peace and good governance in that state. But as long as they allow this issue to linger, the State House of Assembly cannot have peace. And without a legislative assembly for the state, I can assure you that the crisis will linger, and that will not be too healthy for the for the citizens who have elected their representatives. They should find a way of resolving this issue. But we advise that the Federal House of Reps should not exacerbate the crisis. They should try to see a way of mitigating it and reducing the tension in that particular state. Well, I heard the news. I listened to the news last night. The issue was not, the word advice was not used. What I heard that the IG is asked to, is that when you say you tell somebody that is in charge of the police to go and seal up a house, is that an advice? In any case, they have no right even to advise that. As I said earlier, they can only speak with only one voice, the National Assembly. It cannot be the Federal House of Reps now acting alone in order to issue other advice, whatever they want to do with resolution of that crisis in Edo State. It should be done by National Assembly and not one chamber.